One of the most important improvements we've made in 030 is to declunk the action and flow of shooting crossbows. You can now reload crossbows without any movement penalty. But not only that, all skills that can be used while moving now slow you for a shorter amount of time.
Okay.
This change benefits everyone, not just crossbow skills. With both of these changes put together, the run and gun playstyle feels much better.
Cute.
It's hard to explain how important this change is for the feel of the class. The Mercenary is also a good chance to talk about how we're rebalancing to make comboing skills much better. Take Shock, for example. It buffs damage and lasts 4 seconds right now, but that isn't really giving you enough time to take advantage of it. If you're going to add a lightning skill into a build that otherwise wouldn't use one, we need to make mechanics like this much better. So we've increased shock duration on monsters to last 8 seconds. And skills like Plasma Blast, which are intended to be good at shocking enemies, now increase the damage bonus by a lot more. You'll find changes like this all around the game.
Nice.
Chill now lasts 8 seconds, giving you more of a reason to weave in cold damage.
Nice.
Freezing skills are better at freezing. Burning skills need to cause burns that last longer. But making skills like Permafrost Bolts and Incendiary Shot double down on how they're supposed to be used, it makes using them in your build alongside other skills much more likely.
Nice.
We're also making sure to buff specific combos too. The freeze explosions from frag rounds now chain to nearby enemies.
Oh.
And using high velocity rounds with armor break will now fragment the opponent's armor. This causes monsters to take a portion of high velocity rounds damage with every subsequent hit, even tiny pellets. So that means following it with a shotgun blast is way more effective. Now there's a lot more buffs to crossbow skills, but for now I'm just going to talk about the new one we added, the Mortar Cannon. This one lets you socket any grenade skill, and using it will summon a cannon which loads and then fires the grenade you choose.
Hey, nice! Artillery!
Another issue on the Mercenary were banners. They were just not very good,
Yeah,
so we're doing a big
banners are
upgrade to
so
them.
bad.
They now last longer, don't disappear when moving out of them, and we removed the Valor mechanic. They now just give a much more consistent and stronger buff, and you can use them when you get enough glory.
Huge.
On which, one of the main focuses was making various minion types more useful to use together. Melee minions in particular were just not that great compared to ranged ones. As a starting point, we just straight up removed the requirement for minions to have accuracy.
Okay, that's nice.
Attack minions now always hit, which makes them way better.
I love it. I love it.
Brutes got some good numeric buffs, but we also added a new command skill where they do a war cry that intimidates enemies and detonates any frozen monsters and allies around you in a big cold explosion.
Damn.
We've also changed the Frost Mage's command skill to an ability that adds ice armor to your other minions, adding a layer of defense. And it makes them deal cold damage back to the attacker as well. The ice armor also makes the minion count as frozen, so the Brute's war cry can detonate them too. Unearth was changed to work on corpses of your dead skeletons, allowing you to summon the minions more easily in boss fights.
Nice.
And they also got a new jump ability, allowing you to get into combat faster.
Das hätte von Anfang an da
Ray
sein
Spectre
müssen.
was also
Alles.
feeling pretty weak for the spirit cost they
Eigentlich.
have. To be honest, we were a little afraid of these when we first balanced them. We've both decreased the spirit cost for a large range of monsters, and we've significantly increased Spectre damage too. They should feel a lot more impactful. There's also a lot of new spellcaster weapons with newer cult skills, but I'll just talk about one of them that I thought was particularly cool. The Reaping Staff is actually a wicked scythe that gives you a new ability called Reap. When an enemy is low in life, you can dash forward and rake enemies with the scythe to cull them instantly, healing you. It can also inflict critical weakness on enemies too.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of balance changes in the Witcher's Ascendancy classes, but I'll just talk about 2 of them for now. On the Blood Mage, you were previously required to spend your first points on Sanglemancy, which really was supposed to be the downside for being able to access the powerful abilities of the rest of the class.
Interessiert mich nicht.
In order to make picking the Blood Mage a better early option, we made Sanglemancy free, unlocking the power of the rest of the class immediately.
Gimme.
On the Infernalist, the Demon form wasn't something people were really using because you lost your weapon stats while transformed. Well, you no longer do, so it's a much better option now. On the Monk, the wind skills needed a big upgrade for sure. Staggering Palm can now stack up its duration if you use the skill multiple times in a row.
Oh!
So you can keep the effect of all your skills throwing up wind much more easily.
Nice. Huge.
Wind Blast had the purpose of building up to dazing an enemy, but dazing just wasn't worth all that effort. Now it just dazes on hit, meaning a single Wind Blast will make all your skills stun enemies more easily.
Nice.
Following up with Vaulting Impact on a dazed enemy previously did a bunch of stun. Now it allows you to break your enemy's stance. When their stance is broken, following up with a fast attack will do way more damage. A cool build that certain people always enjoyed in PoE 1 was hand-to-hand combat, but until now we just didn't have a real way to make it viable.
Easy. I make it
Well,
viable.
that changes now. The monk, as a true martial artist, now has the ability to learn the hollow palm technique, a keystone that lets you use all quarterstaff skills while unarmed.
Huge!
All quarterstaff attacks now have a special unarmed version, and you get further bonuses to all your attacks from stacking energy shield and evasion on your character.
Da spiele ich. I'm martial arts. I'm...
A new keystone we also added to the monk section of the tree is Walker of the Wilds. This changes mana leech to work with elemental damage instead of physical, which is pretty useful for all those elemental attacks the monk has, but it works well for the ranger too.
Monk main.
Now, one of the least used ascendancy classes in the game is the
Yeah.
Acolyte of Chayula,
Acolyte was
so
so
we
bad.
knew we needed to make some changes here.
Yeah, so
One of the
bad.
key things we had to do was make the chaos damage that the Acolyte can do much more useful. So we've added a new skill, allowing chaos damage to ignite, shock, chill, and freeze, embracing the elemental prowess of the monk in a truly chaotic fashion.
Okay, okay.
In addition, he can make all of his chaos damage leech,
Oh.
and we've buffed Into the Breach and Embrace the Darkness by moving the effects of the 4-point nodes into the base skills.
Nice.
He also gains a new notable, Grasp of the Void, which leaves void illusions behind you as you dodge roll. If they're killed, they do massive explosions of darkness, dealing damage to everything in sight.
Ooh.
Now let's talk about Sorceress skills. One of the things we wanted to improve on the Sorc is the ability to use multiple elements together more
FPS
effectively.
-5.
Now, this might seem small, but one of the things pushing you towards using a single element is debuffs like Elemental Curses, which lower resistances of a single element. In order to fix that, we're making quite a lot of game-wide changes to these kinds of mechanics to broaden what they apply to. So for example, there's no longer 3 curses for fire, ice, and lightning. Instead, there's just a single curse that buffs all
Nice.
3 at the same time.
Huge.
And things like Frost Bomb, which gave you cold exposure, now give elemental exposure. You can use it to buff any of your other skills.
Nice.
We also wanted to make switching between different weapon sets smoother, so you can use different elemental staves more effectively.
Nice.
To do that, we've removed the weapon switch time, and now happens instantly. This applies game-wide too.
Oh, okay. Also Monk,
Now, we didn't just
Marauder
want
und
to
so
stop
haben
there.
das auch.
We wanted to add some specific mechanics that work between different elements, and that's where elemental infusions come in. Certain skills can now drop elemental infusions. For example, when a frost bomb explodes, it leaves behind a cold infusion on the ground. After picking it up, you can spend it on one of any number of different skills to transform how they work. Spark will create a nova of cold infused projectiles.
Boah, FPS
Ice Nova will leave a chilled area on the
-10.
ground. And we also added a new low-level skill that fires ice shards. Use it with cold infusion though, and the ice shards will explode. Orb of Storms now generates lightning infusions when you cast enough spells near it. And that's all spells, by the way, not just lightning. Once you have one, you could cast a lightning flame wall, which adds both fire and lightning damage to all the projectiles that
Nice.
pass through it.
Huge.
Or power up Ember Fusillade with lightning, which will generate arcs to nearby enemies as each fireball hits.
Das. Junge.
Or maybe go
Aber
lightning on
Exile
lightning
2,
with arc.
das
This skill
wird
is now
besser.
projectile, and by infusing it, you can go full Palpatine. Get fire infusions by blowing up monsters with Living Bomb. Then use them with Comet to summon a giant fire meteor from the sky. Or use it with Firestorm, which transforms it from a small area into a much bigger one. Firestorm is unique in that it can be infused by multiple different elements at the same time. Add an ice infusion to rain down ice at the same time as the fire.
Hey, nice.
And add lightning to add deadly strikes from the heavens into the mix. Or use it with all 3 to generate a
brauche einen
storm
neuen
that is
PC.
truly apocalyptic.
Ich brauche einen neuen PC.
Cold Snap has been simply turned into Snap.
geleckt.
Previously, you could use it to shatter ice, but now it works to detonate all of the different elemental ailments and makes them leave behind infusions. And just like how you could previously use it on Frostbolt, you can now also use it on Orb of Storms and Solar Orb to detonate those as well, which means you can create many infusions at once. We also have a Spirit Reservation skill and a Support Gem to help generate them too.
Okay, nice. Aber ich bin
On
kein
the passive
Sorcerer.
tree, we've added quite a few new keystones to the Sorceress section. Here are a couple of examples. The
Okay.
Black Flame Covenant keystone converts your fire spells to chaos and causes your ignites to deal chaos damage. Your fire spells and ignites will also turn purple.
Nice.
The Ritual Cadence Keystone causes your invocation skills to trigger more times, but makes them trigger periodically over a longer duration instead of one. Great for those auto bomber builds. Now, in addition to skill changes, we've added a lot more options for the passive tree for each class.
Okay.
Overall, there are more than 100 new notables on the tree, usually around 20 per class, along with smaller clusters as well. Check out the old version, and here's the new version. It's a lot more dense, and there's more interesting nodes than before.
Ja.
Now, we probably can't go through too many of these in the live stream, so I'll just show you one from each class's area of the tree. We tried to be a lot more thematic with the new nodes. So for example, the Molten One's Gift. It lets the benefit of Armor Break apply to your fire damage. Or how about Last Stand, which gives you lots of stats as your situation becomes more and more desperate. A lot of these have themes aligning with Ascendancy classes. Like for the Gemling Legionnaire, for example. You have crystallized immunities, which makes you immune to different status ailments, depending on which support gem color you have socketed the most.
Nice, okay.
Another Ascendancy class aligned notable is Sanguimatic Rituals. It allows arcane surges to generate life instead of mana, unlocking that support gem to be used with the Blood Mage Ascendancy.
Oh, okay, cool.
In the Sork area, you'll find these Archon nodes that allow you to convert all of your elemental damage to a specific element. You become a Lightning Archon when you spend enough mana, after which all your skills will be converted to lightning, and you will do extra lightning damage as well. We have ones for cold and fire too, with different triggers.
Cool.
Here's another cool one. Elemental Practitioner gives crit bonuses if you've triggered a skill recently, while also making crits generate more energy for triggers.
Nice.
Or maybe you'd like the Great Boar. It gives you a reason to stack dexterity to make you tougher, giving a bonus to life and stun threshold.
Und 10 Stärke.
Or the Cunning Fox.
Einfach so
It
random.
straight up gives you 5% quality to all your gems.
Yo!
Now, another major change is attribute requirements. We felt like players probably had a few too many nodes and attributes, and not enough in interesting passives.
Ja, aber
So we lowered
Attributes-
attribute requirements by 25% across the board.
Okay, aber
That means you'll have
sind
more
zu
points to
strong.
spend on interesting notables rather than just needing to allocate more strength, dex, and int.
Ja,
Now, there are way more changes than just these. These are just some of the cooler ones we wanted to show off, but I'd say that's just about enough for now. We're not even half done yet. So I think it's time that we talk about the League, the rise of the Abyssal. And to do that, I'd like to hand things over to Mark.